Okay, well, good day, everybody. It's Monday, the 18th of July, and it is Mandela Day. So I know all sorts of amazing stuff on the go today. People contributing and doing things across South Africa and working with their communities in all sorts of different ways. So chuffed us to put some time aside. We've done all sorts as an organization over the years, and we've got some interesting stuff that's on the go at the moment in terms of coaching and things that we do in the non-profit space. And so a fun initiative that we're getting behind today, or have always been behind, and actually putting a bit of energy behind it, a program called Coaching for a Cause. So we'll kick off, and we are putting this broadcast on LinkedIn Live. We've got this happening on Facebook Live and on Live, if I understand right. The idea behind it is we thought we'd do the broadcast on live, even though on LinkedIn Live, Facebook Live, etc. Even on a day like Mandela Day, where everybody's crazy busy, especially people organizing and arranging charities, non-profit social causes, things like that. People are very busy on a day like today. So we thought the beauty of it being on a live platform like Facebook, LinkedIn, what have you, is that it's people can watch it again later. So for anybody that couldn't make it, or if a number of you tuning in on the various platforms are the administrators of non-profit organizations, and I know it's a busy day, you haven't had the chance to sit in, you'll be called away, catch up tonight. We'll be loading it on a page separately so you can catch up this material, because also we've got a really cool initiative, a great offer that we're announcing today. So yeah, let's have a bit of fun. It's a 67-minute broadcast, but we'll see how we go. We might finish. My plan is to finish before 67 minutes, and if there's any questions or things in the chat, we'll open that up. And obviously, if anybody wants to catch up with me separately, we do offer a free coaching session to business owners, but also for the administrators, the people that are running established social causes and for impact operations. Give us a shout and we can connect separately. There might be a specific issue that you're chasing, and also you might be interested in applying for or entering the competition that we are announcing today, because we're going to be giving away a free coaching program to a deserving non-profit organization, and I'll be talking about that in a second. So yeah, so let's get going, and I'll take you through the thinking separately. So for those of you that don't know me or Action Coach, our company is called Action Coach Business Coaching, or Action Coach Business and Executive Coaching. There are two sides to our business. We're quite proud of this business. We've been going for, good grief, approaching 30 years now. We're a privately owned business that was founded in Australia by a gentleman called Brad Sugars, who's been still driving the company energetically forward 30 years later. We're in over 82 countries now around the world with, I think it's close to 1,000 offices now across those 80 countries. And we have a lot of fun doing what we do. This is our global vision statement that you can see on the screen. I'll make my face a little bit bigger so you can read that. Yeah, so we are the world's #1 business coaching firm. We're really proud of that. But the vision I was mentioning is world abundance through business re-education. That has been our global vision for 30 years now and counting. We truly believe in abundance. We believe there's enough money out there, there's enough wealth, enough knowledge for everybody to have a successful, not just successful career, successful business, successful life, whatever it might be. And abundance, why are people not achieving abundance in the corporate or in the commercial space? It's usually a fall down in the area of education, but not education like we went to the wrong school. It's education as in business education. Are you reading the right books? Are you learning about business? Are you challenging your learning? What you thought you knew, do you really know it? The knowledge that was good enough 10 years ago, is that the right tools and skills that you need now? Because the world is changing so fast. And that's what we do in the coaching space, is we work with our clients, helping to make sure that the fundamentals are there, but also making sure that we are relearning all the time the core business skills that help entrepreneurs and executives around the world achieve some amazing results. So that's a quick background of our business, Action Coach Business Coaching. And as I mentioned, today is Mandela Day, so it's an important time for people giving back. That's why we're doing the free workshop today for those of you on the call that are running non-profits and charity, and I like to call them for-purpose organizations or not-for-profit organizations. And so we're doing the free workshop for 67 minutes, but also we're offering a free coaching session for anybody running them. And I'll talk separately about the incentive that we are running. For those of you I haven't met, my name is Trevor Clark. I'm what they call a senior franchise partner, an action coach, which I guess it means somebody at Bali who's been around a while. But yeah, I'm 13 years in the franchise now. And this is what I do for a living. I work with business owners, entrepreneurs, executives, nonprofits, and helping people get a lot more out of their business, a lot more out of their lives, but importantly, getting some amazing results. I love what I do. So just so you're clear, there's two sort of key parts to our business. There's business coaching, that's in the small, medium-sized business owner space, where we're coaching owner-managed businesses. And then importantly, we do executive coaching. That's in the corporate space, coaching possibly not the owners of the business, but the regional managers, the executives, the general managers, leadership teams, etc., on strategy, leadership skills, and also all sorts of things like that. So what we're talking about today is an initiative called Coaching for a Cause. So Action Coach rolled out Coaching for a Cause a number of years ago. And the idea behind it was as part of our corporate give back. There's all sorts of stuff happening behind the scenes with Action Coach. We've got the Action Coach Foundation, where we do a lot of fundraising for special causes. We have Coaching for a Cause, where senior coaches are encouraged to give away time, give away coaching slots for deserving charities. We also have the YES program. Now, the YES program is called the Young Entrepreneur Smart Start. And what that's about is that's actually a free coaching program for young budding entrepreneurs between the ages of 12 and 22. And if you want to know more about that, if maybe you've got any kids that you think might have an entrepreneurial bent, or you are still under the age of 22 and you'd like to know more about it, let me know. And in the comments of whichever platform you're watching this, put your details there and we'll share that with you. But yeah, what this is all about, Coaching for a Cause, is here we're giving away a 6-month program, over 80,000 Rands worth of coaching. I've worked with a number of nonprofits over the years, and I've opened up a new slot in the diary, and I'll be giving away a program. So we'll be sharing a link to a landing page where you can put your details in, and you can apply for your nonprofit to win this prize. So if you might be an administrator or somebody operationally running a not-for-profit organization, you might be on the board of directors of a not-for-profit. Obviously, you're welcome to apply, get the right people to get involved in this. This is a shareable link, so anybody that should have seen this session, do share this on with them and get the right people to apply, because it's an amazing program that we are giving away for free. So watch it again, share this with the right people. And what I'm going to be doing now, though, is showing you the overall platform or the process that we will be coaching the lucky winner of the incentive around over the next 6 months. So I'll be giving you a snapshot over the next 50 odd minutes in terms of a quick overview of what a 6 months to 2 year coaching program typically looks like. But so even just take notes on this and just think about some of the stuff that I'm going to be sharing with you. Even if you are a for-profit organization, this is just as relevant. And in fact, a lot of the material I'm going to be sharing now is the systems and the tools and the strategies that we share and work on with for-profit organizations. We apply those very same strategies, but obviously tweaked to suit non-profit organizations, because essentially business is business. And very often, sometimes that's the fall down in some non-profits, is that they're not being treated as a business. And that's why sometimes the results aren't there or aren't what they could be. And that's the amazing opportunity there. So yeah, Stacey is putting some details in the chat boxes and the comments threads. So if you want to know more about the program or how to apply for the free coaching, that is inside the link there. So I guess if we are together for just on an hour, let's treat it as an hour-long coaching session. That's what I love to do. And obviously, I'm never going to coach anybody without their permission, because much as I believe every business can benefit from coaching, I have learned over the years that not everybody is coachable. But also, there's not the different people need a different coach at different times in their life. So I always got to get permission based. And obviously, when I ask permission to be your coach, you can imagine as coaches, we are nice people, but doesn't mean we're always nice. Sometimes we have to ask some hard questions of people. Sometimes we have to have some awkward discussions with the people that we are coaching. Sometimes we point out things that often people don't want to have highlighted. And that is our job, is to kind of hold a mirror up to business owners and executives and business leaders and help them self-assess and see, where am I going well? Where am I not going well? So I'll be showing you some trends and patterns, I guess you could say, of where businesses go wrong over the years. And hopefully some of those areas will help you identify. As I show you this framework, I'll help you self-assess and see, where are you doing well in your business? And possibly I can help identify some areas that possibly need some attention that you can take away and take those ideas away and work on them yourself. And obviously, if you do need some help in that space, reach out. That's what we are there for, to help in that space. So let's look at your business for the coming hour. Typically, when people knock on our door, there's a challenge, all right? Because nobody just wakes up and says, I need a coach. Usually people wake up and there's an issue inside the business. And usually one of the issues is time, team, or money. Those are the three kind of core areas. And those of you in business will probably agree there's hundreds of challenges at any moment in time. That's what business is all about, right? Is solving challenges, but which is the right one to focus on. So yeah, generally we find either the phone is not ringing and there's no customers bringing in money into the business. So that's an area we need to work on fast with marketing and sales strategies in that space. Other times we find businesses are making money, but the owner or the head, the senior people in the business are working crazy hours. We're seeing senior people work 12-hour days, 6 or 7 days a week, and you're suffering from burnout. And too often we've got an amazing team, but the team is not being leveraged. Very often we find also it's not an amazing team. Not that it's not amazing people, but often we find people have hired the wrong people, have the wrong people in the wrong jobs, don't have the leadership and the team building practices in place to help you get the most out of the right team. And obviously, leadership recruitment is another key thing that a lot of people need to work on, because we're finding the wrong people are hired for the wrong job. So typically, we need to work in those three areas to start making your job, your business, your career a lot more enjoyable. So I'm going to talk about these three and help you see that all three of these areas are actually really connected. And very often when we find people are fixing problems, they're fixing problems in the wrong sequence, and we fix one challenge. And by fixing that challenge, we're actually creating problems in another area. So I'm going to give you a roadmap that you can use to take your operation into a much better level. So think about your job, your business, and where are you at? Is your job driving you, or are you driving the job, driving the business, driving results in your business? We find too many people are literally victims of their business or prisoners of their business. Businesses that are going as a runaway train, and you have the owner or the senior person of the business battling to keep up. And we've seen this in the NGO and the NPO space as well, as people are doing some amazing work and creating such amazing impact, but literally burning out, trying to do good work, helping people in whatever space that non-profit is operating, and literally the people that are helping others, who is helping them get on top of things. And often what we're seeing is where businesses, where organizations fail, is it's usually burnout. We find the senior people are trying to do too much with too little resource, without the right skills, without the right team, without the right systems in place. And that's where we see burnout happening. And it's a sad reality. Business is hard at the best of times. And then you factor in the last couple of years that the world in general, and South Africa in specific, has been facing. And we see why. It's just this highlighted the stresses and the pressures on people. And often what we're finding is people are talking to the wrong people, not getting help. And you'll see what I've mentioned then, not getting advice soon enough in the game. Often people, as I mentioned, people don't wake up and say, oh, I need a coach today. It's we know there's an issue, but often we find people wait too long to get help, or are talking to the wrong people. So you'll see I use the word business, non-profit, NPO, not-for-profit organization, cause, for purpose-driven organizations. I'll use those words independently or intermittently, but it's all about business as business. So much as today's focus was to be talking to non-profit organizations, we're going to be using the principles of business into your NPO organization. If we sit with a business in the first place, what is the definition of a successful business, right? It's a commercial, profitable enterprise that works. In other words, it works efficiently. There's a proven outcome happening repeatedly, and importantly, works without you. And you find there are businesses, there are operations out there where that first line is not right. Commercial, in other words, if it's not a commercial business, it just means it isn't even getting the basics right. It isn't satisfying the very need that people, with that exchange of value, somebody gives you money and you give a product or a service in return. And sometimes just right there, it's falling down. A commercial business is also a business that doesn't know its finances. A commercial business doesn't have clear goals in place and a clear plan in place. A commercial business, a non-commercial business is sometimes where people are working in chaos mode and not highly structured in terms of what they do. So we've got to get the foundations right first. Then profitable, obviously, businesses have to be profitable. And obviously, commercial businesses, for-profit businesses, that's the first drive. But I think this is a key thing. And I generally don't like that word non-profit, because we've actually met people in the non-profit space that say, oh, yeah, but I'm a non-profit. I shouldn't be making money. And we're not supposed to make profits. It's like, yeah, but that's not the meaning of the intent. We should still have a profit or a surplus or whatever word we want to use. And surplus is probably a better word to use it, because with that profit, we can reinvest. With that profit, we can buy more assets. With that profit, we can get more team members involved. We can upgrade our premises. We can help more people, deliver more of the services that we designed that non-profit to do. So I personally think a better definition or a better word is a not-for-profit business. In other words, it wasn't designed with the purpose of making profit, but that doesn't mean it shouldn't make a profit, or at least have a surplus at the end of the day, because a surplus gives you a bit of a breathing room, like having a war chest with extra funds put aside so that you know you can survive a rainy day. But we need to be driving that thinking that we've got to be looking at the numbers, man. And yeah, and that's a good point that I wanted to make, because very often people aren't looking at the key numbers inside the business because we're a non-profit. So why should we look at profit? But what I'm going to do shortly is I'll be giving you some different numbers that you're going to be looking at inside your business to get a totally different angle on the kind of a different perspective on profit or surplus that we can be looking at. So yeah, profitable is a key measure, a business that works efficiently, predictable every single time. And without you means that if we've got the proper systems in place, our team members can actually manage themselves, and importantly, over time, release you, that you don't have to be there 24/7 and driving that business all the time. We can have team members run it for you. So I love this definition, and usually this is why people knock on our door. One of those areas not right, but generally they want to get the business working without them. Either a very profitable business, but the owner or owners of the business are working so hard they never get time to spend those profits, or businesses, as mentioned, that don't have the profits in place or don't have the systems. So what we use to help people achieve that end goal is we work on a framework that we call the 6 steps to a better business. So basically it's a step-by-step process. It is actually the natural evolution of how an organization evolves. And what we do is we help you speed up that process to evolve it into a profitable business working without you over time. So this is the roadmap, the 6-step framework that we talk about. Like building a house, we work from the ground up. Mastery is the first level. I'm going to drill down on each of these levels and show you what's involved. But this is typically how our coaching framework, the journey that we take our clients over time, this is the process that we follow. So mastery, getting the foundations in place, taking a business, and you'll see there on the right, we say from chaos to control. And that's a bit of tongue in cheek, but a lot of business are in various levels of chaos, and we help get that stability into the business, right? Once we are stable and we know we're building from a stable base, we work on niche, which is all around marketing and sales for a a typical business, it's about getting a marketing campaign in place, more lead generation, converting those leads to customers, keeping those customers a long time, and they become profitable customers over time. In NPO or charity space, it's yes, definitely about marketing. It's about getting people engaging us. It's about hopefully people becoming donors or benefactors of our business and making donors. And over time, we want them staying longer, that there's not just one donation, that they start donating regularly if they buy into the core vision of what we are trying to do. And over time, that there's sufficient, that we build a surplus over time. So that's what niche is all about, getting cash through this business, because cash is the lifeblood of any organization. Once we get the niche right, we need to turn our attention to leverage, which is all about better systems and systematizing the business to a higher level, so we can become far more efficient. Because if we have systems in place, if we've got that step called leverage correct, we can now start getting a lot more out of our existing team, or we can actually start growing the team and hiring more people. And you see how important that sequence is, that we go to leverage first, we've got to get the systems right, and then bring on the team members. Because if there's no system and we bring on team members, what are they going to do? People are going to be running around chasing their tails without a clear process to follow. And I'll be drilling down on that further. Synergy is an amazing level for a business to get to. That is where a business organization is working without you, where you don't have to be there 24/7. That the team underneath you are empowered to get on with things and only reach out to you in an absolute emergency. It's a lovely space to get to, because that means suddenly you can take a holiday. You have the luxury of a sick day. And if you call in sick, you can actually stay home and in bed and recover and go to the doctor without going, oh my gosh, if I'm not there, things are going to fall apart. That's where we see business leaders coming to work with red noses and a box of tissues and feeling rotten. And they're never getting better, because if your body's not allowed the chance to recover, you're just going to stay ill for longer. So synergy is that lovely space where your business can work without you, where you can actually get onto business to other things as well. So synergy level is often, you'll see there we use the word GM. That's sometimes where you would hire a general manager to run the business for you. Either hiring a heavyweight GM at a big salary, or possibly promoting somebody from within your organization to run the basic day-to-day systems and keep their business operational. So results level, that's where an operation is truly living without you, working without you, that you'll just be getting a quarterly report. And if it's a for-profit business, a quarterly dividend. And if it's a non-profit business, that you'll be watching the results, making sure that the strategy and that you're achieving the impact that that organization was set out for in the first place. So there's our roadmap. We work with businesses around the world on exactly that process. If you engage a business coach, an action coach, certified business coach here in South Africa or in Mexico or Japan, we'll be taking you through exactly that process. Some businesses whiz through the steps in 6 to 12 months. Others take 3 or 4 or 5 years, depending on the complexity of the business, depending on the goals of the business. And we're all in a different space. So this is the framework I want to show you and take some ideas that you can move into your business. So we kick off mastery, the first level, getting the foundations right. What does mastery look like? 4 areas that we need to master to eliminate the chaos from our business: destination, money, time, and delivery. So I'll drill down on each of those. Destination, obviously that first clear step. If we don't know where we're going, then we're kind of running around in circles. So it's one of the first things we've got to do in any business, is sit down and work out where we're going. So we should start with our personal goals, our personal vision. What do we want our life to look like in 5, 10, 20 years time? For the even whether you own a business or whether you're an employee in another business, have you done a personal life plan, a financial plan, an investment plan, a wealth plan? What do you want your future to look like? We need to do that. If you haven't done that yet, sit down with your financial advisor. Sit down and do that financial plan. What do you want out of this business? What do you want out of this career? Once that is done, then we need a career plan or a business plan to say, how am I going to help myself achieve those goals? That's where we put the business goals in place. And it's a key thing to sit down and do and get that thinking right. So one of the key things to do at the mastery level of a business is your company or corporate vision. What is it that excites you? Why was this organization set up in the first place? We find this especially in in the not-for-profit space, as we find so many organizations were founded to do amazing, important work. And somewhere along the way that gets lost. You know, we get stuck in the day-to-day stress of fundraising and managing teams and delivering on the vision, but we kind of forget to have that discussion, say, where are we going? What's the big result, the big impact that this organization is making on the planet? And often people are talking to benefactors, talking to potential donors, and aren't, again, having the right discussions about what's that impact that this organization is making. And if we forget to talk about that vision, you'll see there the core purpose of a good, well-structured, well-written corporate vision is a vision that enrolls and inspires. Enrolls as in people hear that vision, they see the vision statement up on the wall, read it on your website, wherever it might be, and they go, wow, that's an organization I'd like to be a part of. I shared with you ours with Action Coach Action Coach Business Coaching. Ours is World Abundance through Business Re-Education. I'm not saying it lightly. That was one of the things that attracted me to this business when I discovered it in 2009. I was reading more about the business. So I thought, wow, that's actually something I'd like to be a part of, that we can help people make money, that we can help businesses, organizations deliver impact. So enrolling gets people that want to be part of you, whether it's donors, good team members, other stakeholders. And inspire means a good vision statement inspires you to keep going, even when you're having a bad day or a bad month or a bad year. It inspires about, let's get out of the day-to-day tough parts and let's keep motivated to keep going, because business is not easy. We've got times where it's easy, times where it's hard, and in the tough times, a well-written vision or purpose is an important one. And for you, if you are the leader of a team, of any team, not just a team in a for-impact organization or a purpose-driven organization, we need to know, what is the purpose? And your job as a leader is to stand up at the front of the room and be shouting about the vision, the purpose, the impact that everybody's making. And that's what keeps everybody energized to keep doing what it is that you do. So if you haven't clearly articulated it, it's time to do some work around that. Give me a shout if you need some help. Or possibly it is well articulated, but it's kind of sitting on a shelf somewhere, or that brass plaque on the wall needs to be polished and put up in front of people again, and workshop it with your teams and bring that to life. So the long-term vision is just part of it, right? We need goals. We need the long-term vision, but we need goals, and smart goals, not just we want to grow revenue, grow income. You know, smart goals are specifically, we don't just want more donors. How many donors do we want? By what stage? How many branches do we want? How many mouths do we want to feed? How many textbooks do we want to deliver? We need to be very clear in terms of what is it that this organization wants to achieve, and by when. We don't just say we want to get bigger. We want to be very clear. We get into a roadmap that we can track against. And importantly, once we have the goals, we need a plan. All right, and how are we going to get there? Not just a plan there, we need to then hold ourselves accountable to delivering on the plan. And what are we doing? So that's one of the key areas we find a lot of businesses and organizations don't have. It's one of the first questions I asked, and I mentioned to you that we do offer a free consultation. One of the first questions I asked most organizations when is there a documented business plan? You see, I use the word documented, not there's an idea in somebody's head. It's written down on paper. Generally, it's less than 50% of businesses that I encounter that actually have it documented. The next question I ask is, how often do you refer to the business plan? Do you refer to it every month, every quarter, every year? Or I've never even looked at it. So we find even then that companies that have a business plan often haven't looked at it for 3 years since it was drafted. And often it's only been drafted because the bank asks for it when you're doing an overdraft application or something like that. So getting the vision, the goals, the plan, and then obviously implementing against the plan is a critical next step. So we help a lot in that space. I mentioned we do a free coaching session, a free assessment consultation. So reach out if you are running a cause that you think could use a second pair of eyes. And then we do things like we have programs called Planning Club, We do an alignment consultation processes with businesses that we coach. We have a quarterly session. Every 3 months, we do full day planning sessions where we get a bunch of business owners in the room. And those are amazing days if you'd like to know more about it. Whoever is winning this coaching, the free coaching program, will have access to all of these tools. And there's many ways of getting help with that. So that's just destination mastery. But remember, mastery was a couple of different areas. Another mastery area is money mastery. We find that too often people that are lying awake at night, the thing that is keeping people up at late at night is money, managing cash flow. Whether it's in the personal space, is my salary enough to cover my monthly expenses and all these crazy costs going through? And obviously for businesses and organizations, is the cash flow to manage payroll, to pay suppliers, to meet the overheads of that business every week. This is where we find business people and executives lying awake at night because they aren't tracking the numbers properly. And it's leading to financial issues, it's leading to health issues, it's creating relationship troubles because of money. So it is one of the first things we do in Money Mastery, talking to our clients about this and helping people get the systems in place to tracking the numbers. You might have heard that saying. It's just trying to think who, Dr. John DeMartini, it was actually an amazing saying where he said, if you cannot manage a small fortune, the universe will never give you a large fortune. That's where we get this right in the business. No matter where you're at, whether you're a small one-person operation or you already have a team in the hundreds and thousands, we've got to be tracking the numbers or we are doomed for trouble. So it's a key thing to get right. Money mastery, 3 areas that we want to be looking at: budgets, reporting, and dashboard. Yeah, we find a lot of businesses will only use 1, possibly 2 of these, or sometimes none. But obviously a budget, we need to be looking forward. Just like driving a car, we need a windscreen that we are looking through and seeing what does the future hold. Are there any trees in the middle of the road? Are there any storm clouds up ahead? Where is the next petrol station? We need to be looking ahead for any dangers or opportunities. That's what a budget is about. Like, let's try and get good at predicting what the future is bringing us. Reporting, obviously, is also important. When you're driving a car, it's the same in a business. We need to look backwards, look in that rearview mirror. Last year's financial results, last month's management pack, last quarter's financials. Let's see. So we've got to be looking in the rearview mirror to see where we've been, but at the same time looking ahead at the budgets, and importantly, dashboards. And that's why I love the analogy of driving a car. So while we're driving a car, you can be listening to the radio, you can be drinking a cup of coffee, chatting to whoever is in the car with you. But you are totally in control of that car. You're looking ahead, you're looking backwards, and you can glance down at your dashboard and you know how much petrol is in the tank, how fast you're going, are there any warning signs happening there? And it's the same in your business. If you haven't yet constructed a dashboard where at a glance you can look down and just know exactly how your business is doing. If we haven't got that right, then reach out to your coach, reach out to me, reach out to your accountant or bookkeeper and get some help getting that in place. All right. All 3 are equally important because all 3 serve a different purpose. Another important one to look at is time mastery. Another key. And remember, we still have that area called mastery, getting the foundations right inside the business. Okay, so are we clear on what our critical duties are every day? So you as the leader of the team, the branch manager, the head of the corporation, are you clear on what your key duties are? What are the activities that are going to get you the best results or the most bang for buck? And do each of your team have a clear understanding of what their priority duties are for the day versus their what do you call it, the nice to have versus the need to haves? That's a key thing with time management. Are we doing exactly that exercise? What are my need to do's versus my nice to do's? And how many people arrive at work every day and do their nice to do's first? They do the fun stuff, and then come the end of the day, we've run out of time. What's been sacrificed? The important duties. So we're not getting intentional about our day. We've been clear. What are the things that have to be done? What are the activities that are going to get the best results versus the least results? So one way of thinking about it is working to a time target. Stephen Covey speaks about this in his book, The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. And Covey actually teaches us on a grid format. But the thinking around it is obviously to be sure on where is our time going. Imagine you track your time over the course of a day or a week, and you graph out your time and say, where did my time go? And obviously, if you look at from the outside in, how often are people spending their time in what we call the zone of distraction, doing things that are neither urgent nor important? During working hours, cleaning out inboxes, during working hours, doing old filing, watching television, gossiping, doing the sort of stuff that just delivers no value, surfing social media, all that kind of stuff. We're doing stuff and people are filling time, but they call it the zone of distraction. Other times people are busy, they're doing urgent things, but urgent things that aren't important. We call that the zone of delusion. Often it's things that's urgent for somebody else, a knock on the door, a ringing telephone, a ping on a cell phone, a WhatsApp message, an SMS, whatever it might be. That sort of stuff, it's something is pulling us away, and it might not be important, but it's urgent. So we stop the important stuff that we're doing and we do that. And that's quite dangerous if we're not managing that. And you'll see the distinction here is you'll never know in which space you're operating is if you haven't identified what is important and what is not. Because you see those first two bands are all around not important stuff. Then importantly, we get the zone of demand. That's the stuff that's urgent and important, right? We've got to take care of that. And urgent stuff is important stuff is always going to get done when it becomes urgent, the last minute, whether it's getting our tax returns done at the last minute, or there's an important quotation that needs to be sent to our client. We always find time at the last minute. Marketing is often, we know that marketing is important, but too often people don't do marketing until their cash flow drops and sales drops. Then suddenly people go, oh my gosh, I better do some marketing activity, right? And what do? We hit the gas, we hit the marketing accelerator, we start making some phone calls, we start chasing our team, we put a campaign on the radio, whatever it might be, and the results come. But it takes about six weeks on average from marketing activity to start translating to bottom line results. So that's why it's important to understand that we need to always appreciate this area in the middle there. We call it the zone, or the space of not urgent, or doing important things before it becomes urgent. And we call that working on your business. We know we need a plan, but too often people only do a plan when we're in trouble. We know we should be doing marketing all the time. And the rule of thumb is when you are crazy busy and you think you can't handle any more work, that's when you should be doing marketing. Because any projects you're busy with are about to finish. You're going to hand those projects over to your clients, whatever it might be. What is ready? What's the next project or the next assignment or the next billable income that you should be getting into? So that's the idea behind it. And that is our role as coaches, is to be asking our clients. And we actually do literally ask that question every time we see our clients, is how much time did you spend on your business since I saw you last? Because you've probably heard the statement on it where you say if the more time you spend on your business, eventually the less time you need to spend in it. But on your business is about putting plans in place. It's about managing the finances. It's about reading the financial statements, about putting your marketing strategies in place, training the team, building systems and implementing new systems and methodologies into your business to make that business more efficient. If you, as the senior person, the owner, the leader, the branch manager, the manager of your business are not doing that, who is? So it's a key thing to get this right, is working on the business. And then the fourth area of mastery, because we're still in those foundation areas, is what we call delivery mastery. Are all of your customers, your donors, your beneficiaries, is everybody getting a consistent experience? Do you have a consistent way of doing things? Or is it just all bets are off and it's different day by day, and we keep reinventing the wheel? And it's a key thing to get right, is to get those consistencies right. This is one of my favorite examples that I have up on the screen here. Michael Gerber wrote a book called The E-Myth Revisited many years ago. And in the book, he describes an amazing process or a life experience of his, I should say, where he has his favorite barber, and he goes for a haircut every month to this barber. He walks in the door, there's a lady behind the counter that always looks up and gives him a certain greeting. There's a specific phrase that she uses, and it makes him laugh, puts a smile on his face. He sits down. When he has his haircut, they bring him a cup of coffee and they fill it up as often as he needs. And that's his favorite barbershop for years. But one day he walks in the front door. There's a different lady at the front desk. And you can see the regular lady, you can see her in the back office doing a stock take or something. And the lady that's filling in for her doesn't say whatever the little quirky greeting is. So he doesn't get the endorphins of that feel good moment that greeting used to give him. And he sits down at a chair and they give him a haircut, but nobody offers him a cup of coffee. And I'm pausing there because we've all experienced that, right? He gets exactly the same haircut, but those little, what do you call it? Not gimmicks, I don't like that word, but those little things that just made the overall experience so great for him were then taken away. And you can imagine what happened next month. It was time to get a haircut again. And what did he do? Instead of turning left to go to his regular barber, he turned right and decided to try the other barber shop at the other end of the block for a change. And they've lost a client just by not getting delivery mastery right. So it's a key thing inside your business. Picture McDonald's, favorite example, right? The world's largest hamburger business. Did they achieve what they achieved by making the best hamburger in the world? Arguably not, right? What they've done is they found a consistent way to give people a predictable result again and again and again. So wherever you are in the world, when you see those golden arches, you know what you're going to get. That has been their foundation. So are you looking at the foundations in your business to see that you're getting this kind of stuff right as well? So these are some of the key things we want to be getting right just on the foundation side, because foundations is just part of it, right? We've got to, and often people don't want to work on the foundations. People want to get to, and you'll see the next part here is niche. Niche is about marketing. It's about advertising campaigns. A lot of people don't find the foundations fun. We've had a lot of clients that say, oh no, let's forget that stuff. I want to do a big sexy advertising campaign and get on the cover of magazines and be on the radio and do all that lovely stuff. Okay, brilliant. We've got to do that. But remember, if we haven't got the foundations right first, we could be setting up. Okay, sorry about that. I know what happened, folks. We just lost a connection there, but it looks like we're back on track. If you don't mind, just put a note in the comments that I can see that we are okay. And I'm just bringing up to speed here. Okay, good. I see people are still on the call. I don't know where we got lost there, but I'll catch us up in a second. We're at the end of mastery, right? And we're about to turn our attention to niche, which is our next step, about now getting it whether profitable. Okay, good. I see we're back there. Sorry about that. And so niche now. Are profits if you're a for-profit business, or let's use the word surplus if you are an NPO or a not-for-profit organization. Those of you interested in coaching, you can imagine this is an area that we like to deliver amazing results with our clients. And by pushing on marketing and sales, and really just see, because this is where you can really start to see runs on the board, because a lot of the stuff that the achievements in mastery often aren't as tangible. So you'll see what I've said here. Imagine a world with unlimited funding. Well, this for me is where we want to be looking at things like marketing for a business. We use a system called the business chassis. Now, these are some key numbers that you should be looking at in your business. The reason we call it a chassis, there's a lot of cars out there look very different. But if you take away the badge, peel away the bodywork and drill down to the chassis, you'll see it's the very same chassis. Audi, Volkswagen, and Golf is a great example of this. And it's the same with businesses. If you can take away the noise of your particular field, your area, your industry, and look at the key numbers inside the business, you can actually transform that business and do some phenomenal results out of it. So, and here's an example. I found this lady in the UK bought a scrap Volkswagen Beetle for £200, stripped it down to the chassis, rebuilt it, and sold this replica Porsche for £20,000. Now imagine you could do that same thing with your business. And the only way to do that is by testing and measuring, right? Did I say testing? That's a good word. So testing and measuring. So we've got to know not just the financial numbers, like I was talking about in mastery, because in mastery we're looking back at the rear view mirror in terms of the financial accounts or annual financial statements of the business. Here we want to be looking at the marketing numbers inside the business. You know, we as an NPO, you might know how many donors you have on your books. You might know what your level of fundraising was, how many funds you raised last month, and was there a surplus, was there a deficit. But we want to know more than that. We want to know why we had those results. So this is basically what the chassis looks like. Donors, revenue, surplus, you can see I've got them in red. They come after an equal sign. We want to focus on these 5 areas that I've highlighted in blue. Leads, we want to know leads is how many people did our cause get exposed to last month. Conversion rate means of those people that we spoke to, how many people actually got their wallet out, got out their credit card, clicked on a button, and actually made a donation. So we take leads times conversion rate gives us number of donors. And obviously some people just donate once, some people come back multiple times, whether we are talking about per month, per year, per week. So we want to measure the average number of transactions or donations we get per person, and what was the average donation. Obviously some people get, and this is just a fictitious organization I've put here. Some donated 50 Rand, some donated 200. The average was 100. If we multiply that out, 1,000 by 2 by 100, now we know why this nonprofit raised or fundraising of 200,000. There's a margin of obviously what gets kept and what gets used to cover expenses. And we are pleased to see, had a surplus of 50,000 Rand. Okay, so first we want to know what those numbers are, and it's something we'll show you how to do that you can start tracking these numbers in your organization. Once you're tracking the numbers, we now want to make sure there are some plans in place to start improving those numbers. And what we'll be doing with you is showing you 73 strategies to get more leads, 84 strategies to improve your conversion rate, number of transactions, average donation, and margins. There's all sorts of things in your power that you can do to improve these numbers. Rather than just working on one number, we want to work on all 5. And have a look at what happens here. I'm showing you on the screen is imagine just a 10% increase or 10% improvement in just those 5 areas. We're not saying 20%, 50%, 100%. We don't need to double the conversion rate or double the number of leads. Just a 10% in each of those areas. You see what happens is we get the compounding effect, where these numbers multiply off each other, and 10% in those first 2 areas get us 21% more donors. If we get a 10% improvement in number of transactions, 10% improvement in average donation, we get to a 46% improvement in revenue or income, and a 10% improvement in our margins. It means our surplus goes from 50,000 Rand to 80,000 Rand per month. Pretty cool, right? And obviously all sorts of things that you can do there. And this is why we work with businesses over time, because we're teaching the strategies, then we're helping implement the strategies. Some strategies work, some strategies don't work. And those of you that are involved in marketing, I'm sure you'll agree, it's one of the biggest frustrations is that we never know what's going to work. The strategies you think are going to be amazing often fall on their face, and the little sort of afterthought marketing strategies sometimes deliver quite astonishing results. I think it was David Ogilvy who said that was the problem with modern advertising, is that 50% of it doesn't work. And he went on to say that the biggest problem is that actually nobody knows which is the good 50% and which is the bad 50%. We will show you how to know which is the good 50%. We'll help you get tools in place to test and measure your advertising to improve your, sorry, I've used the word profits there. We should be using the word surplus, right? So we'll help you work that out. So think about it in your cause. And again, I've put up, this is the Coaching for a Cause initiative that we are really behind and working on globally. This is the program that is going to help you do this. And we want to set goals. So remember, whatever your current numbers are now, 61% in the example I gave you relates to 30,000 Rand a month in that example. In your business, it might mean an extra 300,000 Rand a month. It might mean less. It depends on whatever those numbers are. Picture that. What would a 60, if your surplus improved by 61%, what could you do with that number? What impact could your cause be making if you're growing your numbers at that sort of level? Apologies, we have an issue here where my slides are not showing on the screen here. Let's just see what happens here. If somebody doesn't mind, just in the comments, tell me what slide is showing up. We have a small technology glitch here, but I will fix it. Bear with me. Right, it's coming back. Apologies, everybody. We just have a technology issue here. The slides have stopped showing. And I'm not sure why. I'm just going to remove them again. Okay, yeah, it seems to. Are you seeing me still? If you don't mind, just let me know on the comments there. You seeing and hearing me still? Okay, so you're seeing and hearing me, but the slides do not seem to be wanting to play, so I'm not sure about that. Let's give it a second if you don't mind. Okay. What we might need to do, we're just at the tail end here, so it's okay, if I take away slide totally, then I ask it to show again. Sorry about this, folks. So what I'll do is I'll just talk you around the slides, and then obviously reach out. What we'll do is anybody that's missed out on these ones, let me know, and we'll send you a link. And what we might need to do is just read it, because this is actually working inside a separate software, so I don't even have the facility to share them on a different platform. So I might just talk you through the remaining few steps there. And but what I'll do is I'll leave it there spooling, so if it does pop up, we'll see where it's at. So in a nutshell, what you can see, and probably it'll be best that we wrap it up in a minute or so, because without the slides, I won't be able to share those final comments. But anybody that wants to chat to us separately, what we'll do is we'll set that up and do another follow-on session, or we'll take you through those final steps on a one-to-one basis. And that's kind of, I guess, the main thing that I wanted to, was the main purpose of today, is what you're seeing is the two foundation areas of growing a business, right? The first one is getting the foundations right. The second is about getting the marketing right. We use the word niche, but it's about really just making sure that people are aware of us, making sure people are getting their wallets out, and importantly, that they're doing it again and again and again, that we're all united behind a common cause of either that business or a non-profit, or whatever it is, the impact that we're trying to make. So those are just two steps, if you recall, from building that business. It is around, we start with the functions, then we get into marketing and sales. But an important next step, and if you recall from when I had that slide up, you recall that the next step, what we called leverage. Leverage is all around systems, because that's the next step we get to. If we get we could be making lots of money, which is great, and bringing in a lot of income into the organization. But if there's still a level of chaos, then chances are we're not optimizing those efficiencies. Everybody's working crazy hours, and we're not actually delivering. We might even have the revenue, or we have a surplus, but we're not using it correctly because we haven't systematized ourselves for efficiencies. So systems is generally what we're looking at there is making sure that the structure is in place, that there's proper organization charts, that everybody knows who reports to who. On the back of that organization chart, are we clear that everybody has got a clear job description or position contract or duties, that there's clear rosters, that we know who's expected to do what? Have you got clear induction and training procedures inside your business? So when you bring on a new team member, Are they being set up for success and learning the business inside out before you send them out into the field and inflict people on your stakeholders? Another key area is, have we got training systems in place? Have we got how-to manuals, how-to checklists? So when people come on board, you can say, it doesn't matter how you did it previously or whether you have done this or not done this before. Here's a checklist, a procedure, a video you can watch, a manual, process diagram showing you exactly how you can go through those steps. Because with those procedures in place, then people can actually start to manage themselves because they've got a reference guide, how they can work through these things. So that's what we call leverage, is getting the systems in place. When we get the systems in place, now we can start turning our attention to team members, hiring the right team members, making sure we've got the right people on board, and importantly, that we are getting the most out of people. Because it's typically what we want to get to the top level of this framework is what we call synergy, where the business, the operation, the organization, your department is to a degree working without you, that you don't have to be there 24/7, that you're freeing up time to do the other work that's going to add huge value to that organization. So we're not going to go too far. Without the slides I was going to share you, we're just close to time. So what I'll rather do is wrap up there, and then obviously make the offer. Stacey, if you don't mind putting that comment back in, there's a landing page. What we will be doing, everybody, is we'll probably record the full session and then load it with the final slides that aren't here. We'll load that onto the landing page, and you'll be able to re-watch it at your leisure. But reach out to us, put a comment in the thread of whichever platform that you're on. We'll be monitoring that and we'll send you those details. So just to recap what this is all about, hopefully there's some ideas there already that you can use. The main thing is just that announcement in line with Coaching for a Cause. We do have the initiative on the go. We are looking to adopt another not-for-profit organization that we will be coaching pro bono for the coming 6 months. So it's a coaching program valued at over 80,000 Rand. So anybody listening to this, if you are running a non-profit and you think you would benefit from this, you may be on the board of directors of the non-profit, but you haven't got the time or the resource to be mentoring and helping the manager or managers that is running the business the operation on a day-to-day basis, reach out and we'll connect separately and show people how they can apply for it. And in the next, I think we're looking by the second week of August. So we've given it a month and we're getting applications in, and we'll be, there's a process by which the winning charity will be drawn to actually benefit from this coaching program. So there is still time to enter. Do share this. So even if you aren't running a nonprofit yourself, but there is your favorite cause that you support, do share this with the people that are running and send them the link to the landing page that Stacey added there. And then she will be able to send you the details. And we look forward to meeting. And even if you, in the process, while we're looking at that initiative, if you do want to reach out and just connect for a quick discovery call to know more about it, myself and the team are here at your disposal to chat about it further. So with that, I'm going to wrap up the call. For those of you here in South Africa, all the best for Mandela Day. Keep doing the amazing stuff that you're doing, and send us more details on the initiative that you are serving. And Cicelo, yes, I see your message. We will definitely send you details on the YES program as well. We'll be putting that in the comments thread. And we look forward to connecting with you soon. So have a great day and a good week, and keep on doing what you do.